Many artists agree that watercolor is one of the most difficult mediums to paint with, and anyone that uses this medium would have to agree that no one mastered it like Steve Hanks. This episode of Artists I Love features the amazing work and life of the late, great Steve Hanks. Steve was born into a military family in San Diego in 1949. Steve's father was a highly decorated World War II Navy flyer. After Steve graduated art school, he took a job as a caretaker at a campfire girls' camp near Cuba, Mexico in 1976. Steve had the winters off and used this time to perfect his drawing and painting style. His first romantic piece, Daisies and Lace, was a harbinger of his developing style, featuring a lacy dress and a serene sunlit setting. This also marked an exit from his previous cynical caricature-like mocking of people. Steve found his style and labeled it emotional realism. Women and children are a continuous theme in Hank's maturing style. His highly collected nudes, not seen here, are some of the finest figurative work ever put to paper. I tried to do a little experiment on Mr. Hanks' technique. If you look at closely at his paintings, it's almost as if he did stippling or and I do see some stuff that looks like cross-hatching in here. But it's like there are washes of color, but not, it doesn't override the previous wash. So, I tried this on the Arches Smooth. This is just 170 pound. And I couldn't get the results. So I had read where somebody said somewhere that they thought he used the rough. So I got some pieces of the Arches 300 pound rough. This side, a little smooth, this side's got a really good tooth to it. So I thought I would give it a try. just going to do this little study that he did and see what I can come up with. Now, this in this particular scene, she is backlit, so her skin tones are muted. So I thought maybe we would start with we'll just cool it down by using a cool wash. Okay, so what I've done is I've used washes, I've used like a scuffing to try to get a little bit of this, but also I found that in places it almost looks like he went did some pointillistic work. I don't know if that is true, but like just taking my brush and the rough texture of the paper makes it easy to just, I guess dry brush may be the correct term, but just scuff over it. And what it does is it leaves that, say where you had some blues or whatever the tone under that, then you come over it, and so it's not like you're laying a wash and obliterating or combining with the blue if you're laying the reds over the blue or the flesh tone, but it's like because of the texture of the paper, the combination of the texture of the paper and the pointillistic work, or like the sketching, just like you would use a pencil, you would just like you would shade with a pencil, you would just skip across the surface of the paper. I don't know that that's how the great Steve Hanks painted. It's just, I'm just looking at his work and trying to imagine what he did. This has been, at the very least, it's been interesting. And I think I'm going to try this on a full-blown painting of my own. Just to see if I can push this, the idea of what he's doing. Again, I have no authority to say how Mr. Hanks painted. I'm just looking at his painting and trying to decipher what he has done, how he gets this, because the beauty of it again is how he looks like he uses washes at times, which is what I did. I washed the face, and then it's like there's this pointillistic up in the forehead on the painting. It's almost like he used some cross hatching too, whether that's just the way it looks, whether it's but it's like he came across the forehead like this, and just to add building up tone and form, and see, like this, just skimming over, pulling it off, coming back in. Don't know if this is, again, I don't know if this is what he did, just trying to see if I can come up with similar results. But anyhow, I'll work on it a little bit more and show you the final results. Okay, didn't put a lot of effort into this, but I think maybe I could see some possibilities of how Mr. Hanks used the rough texture and maybe a little bit of cross hatching and stippling, some washes where they were needed. And I suspect that the painting that he did here is larger than the one that I've done, possibly close to life size. Maybe, I don't know that. Which would cause which would make the stippling effect, the tooth of the paper look a lot smaller. And again, mine is not very refined, and obviously I'm not Steve Hanks, but it's just a theory of maybe what he was doing. Going to put in some washes here of some warm collars and some cool collars, and then we'll do some stippling or cross hatching over top of it. We'll lay in these washes and let them dry. Just to give an example, this is alizarin crimson on the brush. Viridian, there's something else mixed with the viridian there, I'm not sure. Is alizarin over this mixture here. Adding cad yellow and cad red. Alizarin over. Ultramarine on the brush. I didn't show you the ultramarine on the brush. This is alizarin. Ultramarine over this. You see how he could have managed the temperature shifts in the face with the washes, and then used the stippling and the cross hatching to build up form. Cad red light. Cad red light. But you know, you can see where I can see where you could use the wash, then use some stippling where necessary, use some cross hatching of different collars, and again, different temperatures in the face. I think it's a possibility that's what he did. I don't know that. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed my attempt. While doing this video on Steve's technique, I was listening to some interviews he was doing, and he started talking about the different surfaces that he was experimenting with. And this is he talked about using a clay board. This is called I happen to have one. This was called Aqua Board, I believe, and maybe that was what I was seeing in the rough texture. Maybe it wasn't the rough. Of course, it sounded to me like he used different surfaces. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can get a good idea of it. Sounded like he used a lot of different techniques, a lot of different textures, depending on what effect he needed and what he was trying to do. But he did say this, I did notice this, what kept coming up was he was an oil painter for 15 years, and he got allergic to the oil, so he had to move to watercolor. And he wanted to maintain the look and the skin tones, and it kind of worried him, but he found out that he could get the look and the skin tones by doing washes or glazes. That's sort of what we do in the Bouguereau style. When you start off with a grisaille, and then you put these transparent washes over top, building up skin tones that way. So a little bit of insight. Again, I have no authority. I've never taken any workshop with him. He never conveyed any of his secrets to me. This is just exploring the possibilities of Steve Hanks' technique. Steve Hanks passed away at the age of 65 from complications of cancer treatment, leaving behind a remarkable legacy.